Here's some generalities that to remember as far as how to approach fishing on a bluebird day, depending upon a lot of different conditions. A lot of the success that you have on fishing on a bluebird day, it's going to depend a lot on the water temperature, because in general what you're going to have is that the colder the water, the less a bluebird day will affect the fish. It's almost like the colder the water, it doesn't quite have the effect as it does if the water's a little bit warmer. And when I'm talking, I don't mean to the extremes. Let's say, for example, you're fishing in the wintertime and the water temperature is 45 degrees. A bluebird day is not going to affect the techniques that you use as it would to say if the water temperature was 65 or 70 degrees. And a lot of this has to do with the depth that the bass are in. So how I approach fishing on a bluebird day and the techniques and how I go about it is sort of follows. Let me explain a little bit. First of all, it depends on the technique that I'm going to use. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what makes it good and what makes it tough. If I'm fishing a technique where shade is key, sometimes I like a bluebird day. Now, say for example, if I'm fishing a boat dock, and everybody knows that docks throw off shade, all day long, depending upon the angle of the sun, they'll throw it off in different positions. But if you're fishing boat docks, most of the time boat dock fishing is better on a bluebird day, because it really defines the shade lines on a bright day. If you're fishing boat docks on a cloudy day, you don't have those shade lines like you do on a bluebird day. And once you get those definitive shade lines, it really positions the bass and makes them easier to catch. I can pull up on a dock on a bluebird day, and you can look at that dock in a second and say, man, there's a bunch of shade there, there's a bunch of shade there, I'm going to pitch my jig right over there. Or the same if you're fishing, like a steep bank. And let's say you get out there at 10 o'clock in the morning, it's a bluebird day, and you look over to this bank to the left, and there's about 5 feet of shade coming off that bank because of the angle of the bank. And then you look at another bank across the lake, and the sun's hitting it perfectly, and there's no shade on it. The shade that's created by that steeper bank on a bluebird day does the same thing as like a dock. It'll position those fish in the shade. So when I'm fishing and I'm concentrating on shade, a bluebird day can be really good. Another time a bluebird day is good is if you're fishing for smallmouth bass. Smallmouth bass seem to prefer a bright bluebird day over any other type of condition, especially in clear water. It's sort of like a paradox. It's like bass in clear water love cloudy, rainy conditions, and smallmouth in clear water love sunny conditions. It's sort of a characteristic of the species out there.